And I am here today with these nice devotees from our Helsinki ISKCON temple. ISKCON means International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this is a movement that was founded in 1966 by my spiritual master, A.C. Bhakti ilta Swami, His Divine Grace. And the purpose of this movement that he established in New York City of that year, 1966, is to spread to every town and every village of this world what you have just heard, the chanting of Lord Krishna's holy names. One thing you need to know is that it was prophesied 500 years ago in India in a scripture called Chaitanya Charitamrita that this would actually happen. In every town and village, Prithivi Arche, Nagaradi Grama, this is the Bengali verse, Savatra Pachara Hoive Moranama. In every town and village of this world, the sound of the name of God will be heard. The preaching of the name of Krishna will be heard. So why is this important? It is important because we live in a very dark time. You see, we are representing the scriptures known as the Vedas. They come, of course, from India. And the Vedas actually consist of many, many, many books. It is a vast encyclopedia of knowledge. So in these Vedic texts, the great ages, not only of this earth, but of the universe, are explained. So there is what we call a demigod. He's not God. Demi means partial. Demigod. One of the greatest of the demigods. That is a superior personality to us. His name is Brahma. And he is actually the creator of everything that's going on inside of this universe. This all originates with Brahma. Again, he's not God, but he's given the power by Krishna to create in this way. So Brahma has 4 heads and 4 arms and his own planet called Brahma Loka. And this Brahma lives an incredible span of time, as long as the universe. And the Vedas tell us how long that is. It is over 300 trillion solar years. So time begins there with Brahma. His lifespan is divided up into days and nights, which are themselves billions of years long. And so on this earth we live, there are in one day of Brahman, 1,000 is divided up to 1,000 yugas. Yugas means great age. Chatur Yuga, age of 4 divisions. And these are just like in the year we go through spring, summer, winter and fall. It's 4 seasons. And they keep going round and round like that, year after year. So similarly, these ages keep going on, but these are very long ages. So the age we are living in now, Kali Yuga, or the age of quarrel, it has started only 5,000 years ago, but will extend for hundreds of thousands of years into the future and keep getting worse and worse and worse. This is according to the Vedic vision of time. So you may find all this I'm saying to be quite a little fantastic, but one thing that I think you have to agree is that we are in an age of quarrel. The name fits, because you just have to look on your television and you will see so much fighting is going on in the world constantly. Even in so-called peaceful, like here, your country, there's no war going on, but still, among people, there's so much disagreement, so much argument. In fact, that's how they run the society, on the basis of democratic debate and argument, and sometimes that also gets quite nasty. Often, politics can be very, very nasty business. So what this means is everyone's mind is very much disturbed. And out of this disturbance, these negative emotions become prominent in the mind, like anger and hatred and lust and so on. So this is the age we live in. It's an age of quarrel. It's an age of strife, disagreement, fighting. People are very harassed. It is very difficult for anyone to find peace of mind and happiness. You see? This is, we know very well, this is why people come to our programs. Because they're attracted by peace of mind and by happiness. And they think that, yes, by some spiritual process, this Krishna consciousness process, let me see, perhaps I can actually get this peace of mind and real happiness. So, yes, that is difficult in this age. As I said, it's an age of quarrel to begin with, everyone fighting. Another thing is that everyone is trying in this world at this time to become happy. They're following their minds, they're following their speculations. What can make me happy? They're following their senses. Their senses are pulling them to this and that type of pleasure. But these type of pleasures that are created by our minds out of speculation, guesswork, or just by following our sense desires, they actually don't make us happy. Yes, for some time there may be some sensual tingling of what we take to be pleasure, but it's very temporary, very quickly passes away. And what are we left with? We're left with a disturbed mind. We're unhappy. Just like when one is young. I remember when I was young, now I'm older. So when one is young, the world looks very bright and hopeful, and we think we can really enjoy. And so we try to enjoy, but time doesn't stop for us. You see, we get older and older, the hair gets gray, and then we're reaching a point where it's actually not really possible anymore to enjoy like we did when we were young. You see, it's kind of ridiculous. You see, some old man or lady going to a discotheque, what will everyone say? You see, some all the young people are dancing, and some old person comes and also tries to. It won't be very pleasant. They'll probably laugh at him. So at some point it's no longer possible to enjoy like that. And in our old age we look back at all those youthful pleasures and we feel what is called nostalgia. You know, we wish we were back in those days. And we feel sad and we think of all the people we knew who are no longer with us. Maybe they have passed on or moved somewhere else, but anyway, we are separated from them. So we see how all these pleasures in life, they gradually lead us to sadness, disappointment, and then at the end there's death. You see, that means all hope for any happiness seems to be cut completely at the time of death. So this is what we're looking at in the future, all of us. So this type of trying to enjoy the moment, you know, trying to enjoy the moment by some imagination or by some following our senses, this doesn't actually make us happy. I could give more reasons, there's many reasons. Another reason is that our body is not capable of enjoying so much sense pleasure. There's a limit to everything, you see. So people get frustrated. People get tired of enjoying the same thing. And then they want to change. That's why they speculate. What else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? So these pleasures, yes, they're temporary and they're limited. And actually, they also bring distress in the end. If you think about it intelligently, you'll see how all the pleasures in life, you can't separate them from distress because they're all based on the body. You see how the body is, at the end of the day, a place of old age, disease, and death. So this is the thing. We want to enjoy ourselves, but if we try to enjoy through the body with the help of the speculative mind, then we just become unhappy. As I said, the mind is very disturbed. So still, we want to be happy. See? Even after so much disappointment, still a person will try. Because why? Now we have to consider this. I want you to think about the things I'm going to say a little carefully. They're a little bit philosophical, but at the same time I think they're very clear. You see what I've just described to you, this body, which is a physical thing, which is temporary, which is limited, which is a place of suffering, a place of ignorance also. You see? So we are trying to reach, as living beings, we are trying to reach outside of the limits of matter, beginning with this body. We don't just want to enjoy once in a while. We like to be happy all the time. Isn't it? This is what people are really interested in. How to be happy more and more. You see? Not just a little bit here and there and then have a lot of suffering in between. You see, I mean, sometimes people argue because they have a personal philosophy. Well, I think that in life we should take the good and the bad as but that may be your personal idea. But look at the society as a whole. You see, progress, the idea of progress with technology and science, they're always trying to remove all the distress, all the frustration, all the boredom, and give you instant gratification, much as possible. At the push of a button, turn on your computer or something. It's going to be right there. This is what they're always promising. They're always advertising. It's like these little, everyone's got these little phones now. They keep in their pocket. I personally don't like these things very much, but anyway, everybody has them. It's become a necessity in life. So the idea is, now you have your phone with you wherever you go. When you want to make a call to someone, you don't have to go back home to your own home phone, or you don't have to look for one of those pay phones and have coins in your pocket and put the coins in. No, you've got your telephone right there. See, instant, and then you can get someone you want to talk to, blah, 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 blah. You talk to them and it's a nice conversation, smiling, laughing. You see, this is what I mean. This is one example. This is technology. This is what technology is trying to arrange for us. Reduce the waiting time, reduce the displeasure, reduce the boredom, reduce all the in-between. Just have pleasure, happiness, fulfillment as fast as you can. So this shows what the general trend is in the human being. He wants to be happy all the time. It's natural for him. And he wants to have complete knowledge. This is why we watch TV or read newspapers or go to school. Because we want to know what is really going on. We want to know the truth about everything. This is also why there is science. That's what science promises. We can, by our scientific method, find out about everything. Yes. And another thing is we don't want to die. You see? Now the thing is, when you consider that we want pleasure all the time, we want to have complete knowledge, and we don't want to die, we'd like to live forever, and each of these points, science is trying to make it happen, make it possible. So if you consider these things that we want, really want, you see that it's actually going beyond this body, the confinement of this body. It's going beyond the material nature as it is. We're actually pushing with this science and progress and so on. We're trying to push into the realm of something transcendental. You see? Something totally unlike what life before has been. That's what progress is all about, right? They're always saying, we'll take you to a place such as never has been before. You see? Something new, something wonderful. Your grandfather couldn't imagine this. Nobody in the past could. This will be really great. So it's something higher, something better, something beyond. And they're contemplating, yes, one day our science will become so advanced that nobody will have to die. Maybe some part in the body will wear out, but we'll replace it. You see? We'll put in artificial brain in your head, or artificial heart, or whatever. And you just replace all the parts and keep going. They have such kind of ideas. Or some way to slow the death down, to stop it by some injection. All these speculations are going on. You see? So this is what many people hope the future will bring. So actually the urge is for something spiritual. And scientists even admit that. I've read many books by big scientific brains, and they even say like this. They even say, what religion was trying to do, we will do. You see? Religion was trying to bring you to a heaven, some very wonderful place where you never have to die and you'll always be happy. Well, that's religion. That's just a story. But with science, we can actually make it happen. And this is what people want. So this is something spiritual, actually. That means inside of us, there is a spiritual need that is pushing us. But science has been around for 300 years, modern science. And they have been promising for quite some time that we'll stop death and we'll make everything very wonderful, and we'll have happiness all the time, and we'll have complete knowledge, discover the reason for everything. They've been promising this, but it hasn't come. And actually it won't come. We can say this very confidently, that it's not going to come. Why is that? Because it is material science. They're trying to realize this through matter. And it's matter that manifests temporary forms. It is the nature of matter to do that. It comes together in some form, a body, or a table, or a brick wall, or anything, and that's not going to last. You see? And matter is by nature full of ignorance. There is always some limit to what we can know in this material world. You know? It's like you can send, this has been going on, you send the spaceship to Mars, and it lands there and it takes photos of the surface of Mars, or now there's one going to Saturn to take photographs there. So these photographs come back. Whenever I read about these photographs on the internet, they always say, oh, now so many more questions have come up because of these new photos. Now we're scratching our head. What does this mean? Last time I saw something about this Saturn spaceship. That's what I was reading. Oh, we're very baffled by these photographs. What do they mean? So you see, that's the nature of the material world. Even if you can send some spaceship somewhere to take a close-up photograph, when you get the photograph, you'll still have questions. What does it mean? You see? It doesn't give you complete knowledge at all. It just, as sometimes scientists admit, the more we learn, the less we know. I've often come across that statement. The more we learn, the less we know. So this is the problem with these materialistic endeavors to achieve that need deep within us for some spiritual happiness, a spiritual knowledge, and a spiritual life that doesn't end. We try to find this through matter, it simply won't work. And so this is why people are unhappy today. Because our inner needs are not really being fulfilled at all. This is why people are looking again in new spiritual movements to see if they can satisfy this deep inner desire. So what do we have to say about that? About how you can achieve? Actually, there's 3 Sanskrit words I want to explain to you. Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternality, knowledge, and bliss. This is actually our inner nature. What we are inside is we are a soul. And that soul is eternal. There's no beginning and no end. What has a beginning and end is the body. And that eternal soul passes from body to body to body, life after life after life. This is what you call reincarnation. That body is also a spark of knowledge. That is our nature. We are knowers. This in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, he calls the soul Jnani, the knower. That is our nature. And Ananda. Ananda means bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Eternality, knowledge, and bliss or happiness. That is also our nature. Unfortunately, what has happened to us is that we have forgotten that nature. We've lost touch with it. Just like a person can have this condition of mind called amnesia. See? And he forgets his name. He forgets where he lives. Of course, he has that name still. And he still, if he would go to his address, his parents, his relatives would say, oh, please come in. That is his place. But he has forgotten. That's all. So in the same way, we who are spirit soul have forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our nature. And we are trying to find our satisfaction, find our happiness, find our fulfillment in this material existence. And this attempt is called Maya. Maya means illusion. So, this Krishna consciousness movement teaches that actually there is a very sublime, very sweet way and simple way of recovering our spiritual consciousness again. And not only that, becoming conscious of Krishna. You see, I told you, we are all, every one of us here is an eternal soul. So that means we are a very small part and parcel, a very small spark of the Supreme Soul, the unlimited spiritual being, who is Krishna. That is, of course, one name. God has unlimited names. If you call God Yahweh or Jehovah or Allah or Buddha or something, we won't object. Yes, those are also names of God. Then you may say, well, why do you call him Krishna? And that's addressing God in his most intimate feature. God as the lover of us, who are spirit soul, pure soul. So that is evoking the most intimate relationship with God. This is what happens when we chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As I was hinting at before, this is most simple and sweet and easy to do. It's not hard to learn this mantra, but if we chant it, then we are giving strength immediately, as compared to pouring water on a little plant, little vine which grows up. So it starts off as a little bud, a little leaf coming out of the ground. You have to pour water on it. It takes nourishment from the water. It gets bigger. So similarly, our soul takes nourishment from the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And our spiritual awareness, that original consciousness, increases. And you can experience this. See, what I'm telling you now, it's not an item of faith. I'm not saying, oh, this is something you have to believe. What I'm saying is, you can, if you try it, experience it yourself. So as this spiritual consciousness expands, then what do we realize? We realize, oh, I am eternal. I'm not this body. I'm something else. I am the identity behind the body. The me, the I, that is the non-material soul. That is the real self. And I am also full of knowledge. My nature is full of knowledge, and it is this matter which is the very manifestation of ignorance. And then finally, ananda, bliss. That bliss is there as we particularly realize, come to know of our eternal, intimate, loving relationship with Krishna. We are addressing when we chant his holy names. So this is a very simple process, yet it is very, very ancient. The Hare Krishna mantra has been chanted in India at least by saintly persons for thousands of years. I told you about these Vedas, the ancient books. It is recorded there in the Vedic scriptures as the Maha Mantra, the great chanting for deliverance. So this is what we have to offer you today. If you come here for happiness and peace of mind, this is what we have to offer to you. That you kindly try this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Of course, we have so much to offer you. We have all these books. These are, I was telling you about the Vedic texts, so here are the very important ones, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are very, very important works of Krishna consciousness. So that is there. And if you want to chant, we have beads for sale there, because we chant on what we call japa mala, chanting beads. There are 108 beads. We chant on it. Devotees can show you how to do that. And there'll be prasadam. Yes. This is also extremely important. That in Krishna's own book that he speaks to his disciple Arjuna, which this book is called the Bhagavad Gita. So he explains to Arjuna that by what we eat, we acquire what is called karma. You've probably all heard this word. It's a simple word, actually. It just means activity, action, karma. But it's understood that if there's an action, then there must be a reaction. So what we do in this life will lead us to a next existence. There'll be a reaction in the next life. So one of the main ways in which we make this karma for ourselves is by eating. Because whatever we eat, it involves eating some other living being. Even if one is a vegetarian. And of course we are vegetarians, but we're more than that. I'll explain this in 1 second. It's not enough just to be vegetarian, because the vegetables, the grains, the plants also have life. And we take that life when we eat, what to speak of animals. So Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita that what we should do is we should take the good foods, which means the pure foods, like vegetables and grains and rice. Grains means rice, wheat, and milk products, and fruits, these nice natural products of the earth, which are acquired non-violently. We should take such foodstuffs and we should offer them to Krishna. So that's how we live. Everything we eat is first offered to Krishna. And what does this do? Krishna says it cleanses the karma from that food. Krishna transforms that food. He spiritualizes it. So that those living entities, those living beings who gave their life in the preparation of that food, they're actually delivered from this world. They go back to the spiritual world. And if we eat that, prasadam it's called, prasadam means mercy, then this is also purifying and spiritualizing us. There's no karma. So this prasadam you will get today, and it is a very wonderful taste experience. All around the world people are very fond of the Hare Krishna cooking. We also have some very nice cookbooks. I don't know if we have any here, but anyway, this ISKCON society has some wonderful cookbooks. One can eat very, very nicely, enjoying all the different tastes. According to the Vedas, there are 6 kinds of taste, like sweet and sour and salty and bitter and so on and so forth. So there's 6 kinds of taste. So that's what our tongue craves, and you can get all of these tastes in a vegetarian way. So, but of course, everything is offered to Krishna, so it is even more delicious. It is touched by the Supreme Blissful Personality Himself. So this is a very simple program, very natural. Prabhupada used to say chanting, and when we chant Hare Krishna, of course here we were sitting down, but we like to especially chant standing up so that we can dance. So chanting and dancing and taking Krishna prasadam, and hearing some philosophy, and doing some service for Krishna in our life. It's a very sweet way to develop our original spiritual consciousness. And because this method is there, because what I am teaching you, what I'm trying to explain to you today, is a method, not simply a belief system, but it's a method, it's a thing you can try for yourself. Therefore, by this method, you can actually begin to experience these things that I've told you, as I said, you can begin to experience yourself as soul, spirit soul, and you can begin to experience your eternal relationship with Krishna, the wonderful happiness of that relationship. And in this way, we become happy. A happiness that does not rest upon material arrangements. You see? It's not a happiness that depends on anything material, because it's a happiness that arises from pure consciousness, the consciousness of the soul and Krishna, the meeting point of these two consciousnesses. That's why we call this Krishna consciousness. So this is eternal happiness. And this gives us peace of mind when we are fully satisfied by the experience of the happiness of Krishna consciousness, and the mind becomes peaceful. So, I think that I'm going to pause right now and see if you have any questions. Of course, I can go on speaking, but I'd like to know if you've been following what I'm saying. This might have aroused in your mind some question, or you want to make a comment. We could have an interesting discussion. You have something to say.
Tehkää kysymyksiä, varasin sitten tällä aikaa, mainittiin hänelle jaetaan kysymyksiä. Te voitte tehdä suomeksi ja sitten kääntää. Ihan.
Anything? Yes?
What will happen to a person who practices devotional service and gets initiation, but somehow, because of unfortunate circumstances, he falls down? And then he again starts to practice devotional service. What will happen to that kind of person? Will he take new birth or?
Well, Prabhupada said, if you're able to actually forget that period of having fallen into Maya, if you can forget it, then Krishna will forget it. And Krishna forgets it, then it's as good as gone. That's what we have to do. Prabhupada, I may have left. Oh, there, is it? Oh, that's my feedback. I just was looking for that. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Is there any other question?
Olkaa nyt hyvät, teillä on hyvät yleisöstä. Niitä harvinaisia tilaisuuksia teille suoraan ihmisille opettaa.
I have.
Yes?
You said about the yugas, like the seasons, they change.
Yes.
4 yugas in a cycle, and they keep coming again and again.
Yes.
So, how long do these yugas go on?
How long do they go?
Go on, or is there a pause sometime?
Yeah, well, these yugas go on throughout the day of Brahma. So that's a period of 4,300,000,000 years. And the yugas are what's called the Divya Yuga or Chatu Yuga, the set of 4 yugas. There's 1,000 of them in this time period, so that works out, of course, to 4,300,000 years for the 4 ages together. And then they're divided. The Satya Yuga is the longest age, then Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga is about 1,700,000 years. Treta Yuga is about 1,200,000 years. Then the Dwapara Yuga is about 800,000 years, and Kali Yuga is about 430,000 years. In this way they're divided. So, yes, throughout the day of Brahma, then there's 1,000 yugas, but then his night comes, and in the night time, everything in the universe kind of is withdrawn. This night means everything shuts down. In the world outside here at night time, everything slows down. Not much is happening. Similarly, over the whole universe, the night of Brahma, things pretty much come to a stop. The living entities are withdrawn back into the lotus on which Brahma sits. Then the next day they come out. Everything goes on again for a long, long time. So there is a pause in the night. And the night is as long as the day. 4,300,000,000 years.
So in the meantime, during the night, what happens to the souls?
They're in a state of suspension, like a state of deep sleep. The susupti, unconscious, because they all get drawn back. The living entities come out of the lotus that Brahma sits on. He brings them out, puts them in their different karmic positions. For the rest of the day they go on. And then at night they come back into the lotus. They're submerged. Long, long sleep.
So how can one get out of this cycle?
Yes, getting out of the cycle of birth and death, that is the real aim of the Vedas. See, Veda means knowledge, and the aim of the Veda is called Vedanta. The end of that knowledge, and the end of that knowledge is moksha, or mukti, liberation. When the soul gets free of the cycles of matter. So how to do that? Well, this is what we're talking about today. Of course, the Vedas, as I told you, there are these different ages, and so there are also different methods for different ages. Like in the Satya Yuga, long, long time ago, then one could get this liberation by yoga, this mystic yoga, which you see still practiced today. But in those days, it was practiced to free the soul from the body. So in each age, there is a different process. The Yuga Dharma is called. But in this age, Kalo Tat Hari Kirtana. This age, the Yuga Dharma, the method of gaining liberation is by this chanting. Chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So I think I would like to do that now. A little more. More chanting. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Brajayine Nirva Shisha Shunyavani Vasyachari Satarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Brajayine Nirva Shisha Shunyavani Vasyachari Satarine Hare Krishna Chaitanya Hare
Ja ennen kuin Muniraj Prabhu, joka organisoi päästää teidät sitten seuraavaan vaiheeseen Krishna Prasadam, haluan mainita, että huomenna, koska se on avoin tilaisuus, jos te olette reilusti yliopisto-opiskelijoita opiskelijan näköisiä, huomenna on luentotilaisuus Vedanta psykologiasta kasvatustieteen tiedekunnassa. Voitte ottaa Tapodiviamiin yhteyttä, hän voi antaa teille tarvittaessa. Tuosta jos menette tuossa opiskelijakategoriassa, on suunnattu psykologian opettajaksi valmistuneille. Suhotra Swami Maharaj matkustaa sen jälkeen Vaasaan ja huomeniltana, jossa hän pitää sitten Opu Akademissa luentoja ja sitten lauantai Helsingin yliopistossa. Hän lensi tänne suoraan Kööpenhaminasta, joten hän matkustaa todella paljon ja hän ei todellakaan ole niitä henkilöitä, jotka rahastavat tuolla, mutta jos te haluatte kattaa jotain tai antaa lahjoituksen hänen matkakuluistaan, Muniraj Prabhu, Muni nostettu vähän kättä ylös tunnistuvat. Te voitte hänelle antaa pienen lahjoituksen, joka menee sitten noihin matkakuluihin, mutta se ei ole pakollinen. Joten me toivotamme teille oikein mainiota ruokahalua ja niille, joita on teille näkemään. Itse olen lähdössä myös joitakin olla tavattu aikaisemmin Intiaan. Todella hyvästi mainiota syksyn.
Joo, kasvisaterioita tulee sieltä hetken perästä. Illan ateriana on puria, chutneya ja pörkkiä, kaikki traditionaalisia intialaisia lajeja.